Place your bets on who you think will take the series. So far, both players have not dropped a best of 3. They've dropped maps. Definitely, they have dropped maps. We've seen that occur from both Dolan and Rob, but neither one has dropped a series yet in the group stage. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkion, and we have our American Protoss player, the yellow Protoss, representing Root Gaming. It is Rob. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, representing the Cranky Ducklings. It is Dolan. We go. Here we go, as we are going to be embracing our final series of the round. I'm going to be embracing that final series. And we'll see how we open up. Now, Dolan, he's known for his aggression. He's known for his quirky builds, but we haven't really seen that today just because of the matchups. We've seen mainly Dolan against Zerg players, not against Terran and not against Protoss. And against Protoss, that's where Dolan can really shine. He's got a lot of cheese, a lot of all-ins, a lot of chaotic builds here available in the TVP matchup. So I'm excited. I'm ready to embrace some Dolan nonsense. Yeah, give it to us, buddy. Give it to us. Now would be the time. Unless he wants to save it for the playoffs. It's possible, it's possible. Might want to save it instead for those playoffs. Probe Scout dipping in. Getting eyes on the opener. It is going to be an economic opener here out of Dolan. It is a single gas geyser, so a Rax into expansion. So economic start from Dolan. Rob being as annoying as possible. Tasing away at those SCVs. And is going to be locked in. Now, typically we would see a recall to save the probe, but depending on how low it is, it may not be worth it if it were to go down. Yes, Dolan does try to sort it away. Behind this, we do have a standard opener as well, just a gate cyber expand. We're easing our way into our setup. Interesting, and we have our first racks here in the main, but we have hidden the second and the third racks on the low ground. Okay, we have a 3 racks here out of Dolan. Once again, a very aggressive follow-up from our Terran player. We should be building up towards the stim timing. With 3 Raxes, that means mass marine, stim is going to be on the horizon, and a massive bio push. Thankfully, Rob is opening up Twilight Council, not Stargate. Now, we saw this previously. I think it was when we casted Rob versus Disrespect, where Rob opened up 4-gate Blink against the 3 racks of Disrespect, and he completely shut it down. Again, if this was Stargate and Phoenixes, they have a really hard time dealing with a large amount of Marines early on in a TVP. Phoenixes can get you killed, but when we open up Blink like this, when we open up with the Twilight Council, we will be active with the Gateway Army, and we can chip away at the Marines. And Blink is on the way. Blink is on the horizon. And we'll see how many gateways get thrown down. There's 2-gate Blink, 3-gate Blink, or even 4-gate Blink Stalkers. There are different kind of variations and different forms of aggression. Well, we have our answer. I was like, how many gateways? 4 gates. We have 2 gateways already done and 2 more on the way. It's going to be 4-gate Blink. A very aggressive build here out of Rob. And again, I'm getting deja vu from his series against Disrespect, where Rob is poised to shut down this bio push from Dolan. He is going to be ready for this, or at least he should be. As Dolan still has to bide his time, wait for those upgrades to kick in, waiting for stim and combat shields. Is waiting for the upgrades. The Adept does confirm the bio army. And Rob is being active. Again, his goal here, what he needs to do is move out with these Stalkers, engage with the Marines, force a stim, pick off as many as we can before the army gets across the map. So far, a good response here by Rob. Gets 1 Marine so far. Picks up a Marine, gets a 2nd Marine. Stalkers are taking some hits. Stim has completed. Likewise, Dolan has to be careful with how and when he does stim. And it looks like he will rotate around towards the left-hand side. Rob will check the Zonaga. Does miss the army. The Prism! No! Up! Oh, as Dolan does barely miss the War Prism. And Robbie's pushing in. Is pushing forward. Dolan does come across the Prism. We force the stim. Prism goes down. Massive pick off, but at the same time, Stalkers, they dive into the natural. We're going for Concussive Shell. We do deny the upgrade, but there's no way out of this. There's no high ground vision either of the Stalkers. They're all going to go down. Massive pickup. Rob, big overextension. No, he does overextend. Losing everything at the natural. And, Rob, he had a good start. He had a very good start, but alas, there was no way out, and now Rob has nothing left. Rob, he barely has an army. He's in trouble, and Dolan is pushing. Dolan is moving out. What do we have at home? We have a shield battery, soon to be 2-3 shield batteries on the way. Immortal production has begun. Oof, but yeah, just an awkward overcommitment there from Rob. A bit of a misplay. Scan does reveal the position here at the natural. But we could, honestly, we could just rotate over towards the third and force the army to fight out of range of all these shield batteries. Like, that's a lot of shield batteries. 3 shield batteries here at the natural. We could just avoid it. Yeah, we just hit the third. And we just dive on the third base. Nexus is under fire. Rob will save the probes. Nice recall. Does save the workers, but he cannot engage. Rob, he cannot fight out of those shield batteries, out of range of the shield batteries. And he's stuck at the natural. That's 400 minerals down the drain. Rob forced to expand elsewhere. And honestly, Dolan could have done it again. He could have just rotated and gone for the 4th base for a second time. Does scan. Dolan taking his own 3rd CC. And building up towards his own bio setup here on 3 bases. And Dolan is looking quite comfortable. And I feel for Rob. I mean, at least he took it well. You know, he was laughing after the slip up there. It's okay. it happens to the best of us, Papi. It happens to the best of us. Oh my god, as we do land a good storm. Okay, not bad. We have 3 more High Templar behind this. Storm is done. And Dolan does have to respect the army. He has had a good start, but you have to respect the storms. As the tank has arrived. Again, there's not really much to this army. There's not really much support or buffer for the High Templar. It's very fragile. It's a very tight hold here for Rob. Dolan's going to be expanding, taking his 3rd base. Dolan Spadinov going for a double drop on the right-hand side. Rob does push forward. And as the main army's distracted, Dolan, he does slip by into the main. Yeah, not much in position. Rob is distracted. Double drop does dive in. Forge is exposed. We just go for the mineral line. Probes are going down. It's going to be 12 workers so far. And the Artosis pylon's going to be falling. We depower everything in the main base. GG gets called. And Dolan takes game number 1. GG. A solid game there from Dolan. And again, Rob did not have a bad start. Did not have a bad start whatsoever. I do want to emphasize that. Did not have a bad start, but did overextend, did kind of misinterpret or misjudge the situation. He pushed into the natural, and then there was no way out. There was no way out of the natural base. There was no high ground vision, so even with Blink, that we were trapped. We were stuck. It was that moment where you could see the moment in that game where Rob dove in, and he dove in, and then he realized the moment where he messed up. He's like, oh, what have I done? Mistakes were made, Papi. Mistakes were made. And with that, we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. Here we are going to be settling in, and game number 2 is going to be taking place on Ghost River. Okay. A map that we have yet to feature the entire day today. We have yet to feature Ghost River. We're jumping in for the first time. Let's go. Let us go. And I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping we can get a little bit more out of this, but the pressure is now on the Protoss. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our American Protoss player, the yellow Protoss representing Root Gaming. It is Rub. Rubby. And in the top left-hand corner, we have the American Terran player, the blue Terran player himself, leading the series one game away from claiming it all and coming out in first place in the group stage. It is the Cranky Ducklings, Dolan. Here we go. And again, I don't think game 1 was really too indicative of the skill of Rob, just because, again, Rob, everything was looking solid, everything was lining up for him to shut down the 3 racks, to shut down the bio, and to be aggressive, and everything quickly just fell apart there. Just, again, a miscalculation and caught off guard, and everything went south real quick. But I want to believe we can bounce back as, oh, interesting, we're opening up double gate. Okay. Rob, we've had enough. We've had enough. Not going for a standard opener, going for an aggressive start here from the side of the Protoss. Meanwhile, Dolan doing the same, opening up double gas. As a reminder, on Alcyone, we did have an economic opener, a Rax Expand. This time with 2 gases, Dolan is going for a faster factory instead, going for a delayed CC. Now, this makes sense on Ghost River. We didn't really get to talk about it, but there's a reason why we've rarely seen this map. There's a reason why we have not seen it at all today. It's because it's very aggressive. It is one of the shortest rush distance maps in the map pool. Very short rush distance by ground. From natural to natural, it's not long at all here to move out. And not just that, not a lot of bases to take. It's very congested as well. Does lead towards more aggressive builds, which is why we're seeing a 2-gate. So 2-gate opener is going to lead into additional adepts early on. Adept production has begun. Likewise, Dolan playing safe, going for the faster factory. And we'll see where this leads us. This could be for a Widowmine drop opener. This could be for reactored Cyclone production. Could be for Reaper Hellion. Dolan has options with how aggressive he wants to be with this. Meanwhile, the first Reaper has made it. We do get eyes on both gateways. Dolan is aware. And does get a probe already, not bad, but the Reaper will go down. Not the best trade there for Dolan. As the Adepts are moving out across the map. Back at home, Dolan, because he did scout the 2-gate opener, CC on the high ground. Very safe position here for Dolan. The CC will not be delayed, will not be denied. Cyclone production has begun. Getting to a 1-1-1. And Adepts, they can't really get much done here. They can maybe get the SCV. Oh, not quite, as the worker does head on over towards the left-hand side. Yeah, the SCV is safe and sound, at least for now. If it does rotate over to the other side of the building, then we can focus it down. Oh, speaking of... Oh, there we go. SCV does fall. So RNG not working in favor of Dolan there. We do delay this a little bit, and the Adepts do shade in. And we shade into the main base. Ooh, we do cancel. As one Adept does fall, and we're going to get the second Adept as well. Just barely. 2 Adepts for 1 Cyclone. I would say not a bad trade for Rob. 2 Adepts for a Cyclone, but ideally, especially with a 2-gate opener, we did want a little bit more damage, and there are more gates on the way. That's a lot of gateways. So once again, 4-gate blink. We got here in a bit of a different way, but 4-gate blink nonetheless. Rob wants to be active, wants to be aggressive, and this time will not lose his initial warp prism, I imagine. Meanwhile, across the map, Rob being active, tank production starting very early on. We already have the one tank. Dolan going for a tank push. Before we can embrace the Blink Stalkers, Dolan is going to be moving out. Okay, the tanks are spotted. Nice scout here from Rob. He's aware of what's coming. And it's on Rob to prepare. There we go. Oh my god, that's a big reaction. 3 shield batteries. 3 shield batteries on the way. Now, what is terrifying about this push as boys are being pulled is that we can actually go straight for the main base. But here we go. The medevac does take a lot of damage. Tanks will be landing. Ooh, medevac goes down. Big pickup. And we're going to pick up a tank as well. Yeah, Dolan bleeding out a lot here already. One tank going down. That's the backbone, the back line here for Dolan. Is the backbone of his army. Overcharge is popped. The first stalker goes down. We're down to 3. 3 stalkers left. The overcharge still standing strong though. As Dolan is running out of units, running out of Marines. Liberator has arrived. The repairs, they barely do keep the tank alive. Only for so long. Second tank falls, and what does Dolan really have left? He's going to try to keep pushing. But Rob is holding. Rob, he's holding the line. Third tank is on the way. Bunker is thrown down. Can Dolan still pull this off? Blink is about to finish, and we can come in from behind. Yeah, we come in for the blink. Liberator is exposed. Going for the tank even. And Robbie's pulling this apart. Tank goes down. Liberator thereafter. And Dolan is down to only vanilla Marines. Just a very nice defense here from Rob. Bunker may be able to finish up, but again, there's just barely anything left that we're working with here. Another snipe on the Liberator. And we're going to shut down this. Yeah, we're going to shut down this depot as well. Depot? This bunker. And once we clean this up, what does Dolan have left? Back at home. Backup bunker. We have the tank sieging up. We have an economy to work with mules. But from here, Rob, he can just expand. Taking a third base. He has map control. He's moving out with his stalkers. We'll delay the bunker. And Rob is looking solid. Basically, the players are looking quite comparable to each other, but the big downside for Dolan is he's stuck at home, right? Like, Stim just now started. We lost our medevacs, lost our tanks, lost our liberators. We're just stuck on 2 bases, and Rob can take full advantage of him and saturate the third. Saturate the third base, take up into Charge, Storm, Robo, into Colossus or Archons, you know, pick your poison. Rob is free to do whatever he wants. And Dolan is contained. Is going to be contained from here. Now, Dolan has an option, and we may decide to go for a 2-base all-in. I would not be opposed to that, just because of the dire situation for the Terran player. We may just build up towards Stim, towards all these upgrades, and just pull the boys on 2 bases. Like, that is a viable option here for Dolan. And if Rob is too greedy, if we cut too many corners, if we probe up too much and take a 4th base and throw down 2 forges, for example, then Rob could be cool with his pants down. Dolan isn't out of this yet. As Rob does try to pick up an SCV. Has to calm down. Scan confirms a 3rd base. Gets eyes on the High Templar. Storm about to finish. And we're going to have 3 storms available. Pulling the boys into storms is not going to be easy. Not going to be easy here. Here we go. Dolan does go for the unsiege. And do we pull the boys with this? So far, just moving out with the main army. Moving out with what we have. More add-ons on the way. Hey, Dolan not going for the all-in. That's a Ghost Academy. Okay. You have my attention. We're going for a longer game. Taking up into Ghost. catching a Stalker. Dolan pushing right down mid. And we have to try to avoid those storms. Charge is done. And we dive on the tanks. A Templar pushing in. And even without storms, the Gateway army is just too much. Yeah, the tanks get shut down. Not even a single storm. We didn't even need it. Didn't even need them. Dolan has to retreat. Not bad tank shots. Going up with the Stalkers. But the Immortals are getting on top of the tank. Storm on what little is left of the bio. GG gets called, and Rob will tie the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. A very aggressive start there from Dolan, but it all fell in its face. Really good control and really good positioning out of Rob to shut down the tanks, to shut down the Liberator. Just picked Dolan apart in that push. And yeah, with that, Dolan just didn't have much left. There's a reason why I said that maybe we could just go for a 2-base all-in and pull the boys in a longer game. Dolan just could not compare to Rob. And even if we did pull the boys, pushing into 3 High Templar full of storms, it's not easy. Not easy at all. And with that, we're going to game 3. We are going to the ace match, and we're loading in to Oceanborn. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, looks like the rest of the bracket is getting underway as well. A lot of results are coming in. We'll catch up after the series. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our American Protoss, a player tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. And can he keep the momentum going? Can he take the series? Representing Root Gaming, it is Rob. Oh, mate, Robbie. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Terran player, the blue Terran, representing the Cranky Ducklings, being forced into the ace match. Can he bounce back? It is Dolan. Oh. Hi. Oh, Vice President Dolan. I don't understand the memes. But okay. As our players are going to be opening up. It looks like Dolan doesn't understand either. Okay. I don't feel too much out of the loop. But Dolan is going to be opening up double gas. Double gas opener here by Dolan. With this going for another faster factory. Now, we saw in the last game this led into a really early tank push, but that doesn't have to be the case. I mentioned before that with double gas openers, we have a lot of options, right? We could go into a tank push like we just saw, or Reactored Cyclone. We could go into a Widowmine drop. We could go into Reactored Reaper Hellion. We'll see what Dolan goes for. I'm sure he will adjust and we'll go for a different kind of form of aggression this time. Meanwhile, once again, 2-gate. Once again, a 2-gate opener out of Rob is going to be opening up with Adept Aggression. We saw that in game 2, this didn't really do too much damage, and Dolan was able to shut it down, and it should be the same here in game 3. As Dolan did not open up economically, and his CC is not exposed, currently at least. Reaper's moving out across the map, factories on the way. We are not set up for an add-on swap, bear that in mind. So not going for the reactor on the factory. Not early on, at least. Reaper's moving out. And there's a CC on the high ground as well. Dolan playing it safe, does confirm both gateways. Dolan is aware of the more aggressive opener out of Rob. And that's why he does respond with a safer location for that command center. So far, so good. Looking very similar to game 2. Meanwhile, Dolan going, oh, same build. Okay. It's deja vu for a reason. Same build from both players. It's 2 gateways into Blink, into I imagine 4-gate Blink as well. I would not be surprised if Rob goes for the same build. Likewise, Dolan going for a very fast tank production into a medevac, into a second tank, into a push. Okay. let's just do it all again. Let's wind it back, Bobby. Wind it back. Meanwhile, the Reaper this time gets a little bit extra done. 2 probes do fall. Adepts have arrived. So far, they don't really get too much in the main, as the CC this time is further back, is safe and sound. The other important thing to take note of is that Dolan this time did not make an early Cyclone. Adepts say will shade in. They threaten to shade into the mineral line. Second Adept goes down. And we only have the one Adept in the main, and does scout the tank. Yeah, big moment for Rob. Does confirm the tank production. And should be getting ready back at home. Once again, we should be seeing some shield batteries. For now, Stalkers are on the way. It is going to be 4-gate blink out of Rob. Robo in production. Stalkers are warped in. And here comes the push from Dolan. Now again, because Rob saw that early tank, we should be seeing a reaction. And there we go. Shield battery just now on the way. Just the one shield battery this time. From Rob. And Dolan, he boosts on forward. He wants the Stalkers, and he's going to get them. And one Stalker goes down. This time we save the medevac. This time we do save it. Nice juggling. Preserving the tank this time. Much better execution out of Dolan. The SCVs have arrived. They get the repairs off. Tanks are pushing forward. This time 2 tanks. And just the one shield battery. Now we throw down 2 more, but they're too late. Too little too late. Rob caught with his pants down. And this time he's not ready. He's not prepared. Tanks are pushing forward. And this is what Dolan wanted in game 2. This is the setup he was looking for. And Pylon is going down. We depower everything on the low ground. No Robo, no Immortal. Blink is done. Boys are being pulled. But the Liberator, with the help of the Liberator, with the tanks as well. We're getting out of hand. We're getting out of control. Every single probe going down. And Dolan, he has done it. He's broken the natural. Rob coming in with Stalkers, but already 14 probes going down. And the Stalkers, they cannot engage. We juggle back. Dolan. He's angry. He's upset. He's the danger Dolan for a reason here. As we pull the boys, we repair, we keep the tanks alive. GG gets called, and Dolan snowballs out of control, taking the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Dolan does take it in the end. The same build from both players this time in game 3. From game 2, it was a 4-gate blink opener out of Rob with a 2-gate opener. Dolan going into his 1-1-1 into his double tank push, but this time Dolan did have much cleaner execution. He preserved those tanks, he juggled them back, he had the workers to repair, of course, as well, and this time it was a much better, again, execution out of Dolan. Rob did scout, Rob did confirm, but for the most part, but again, had a bit of a delayed reaction, and he wasn't able to pick Dolan apart like he did in the previous game. GG, well played. With that, Dolan comes out, this time confirmed in first place from the group stage. GG. GG, well played. Let's have a look at that bracket and catch up on what has been going on.